Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator. In this video, we're going to talk about an article that was out yesterday in HCN, which is High Country News. It was on MSN. These are both written by the same person, Nick Bolin. It's talking about the Forest Service is cutting its seasonal workforce and public lands will suffer. Employees warn that important work will go undone all over the country. This was an October 8th, 2024 article. They say every year, Americans visit hiking and camping areas managed by the U.S. Forest Service more than 150 million times each year. If you have climbed a peak or hiked in a forest, paddled a protected river, visited a cultural site on any of the hundreds of millions of acres of public national forest land, even skiing, a lot of ski areas are on national forest public land. Vail is national forest public land. You wouldn't know it the way they operate it for the rich, but it is. But they say, there's a good chance that any federal workers you encountered were not full-time employees. The agency relies on a large, often underappreciated army of seasonal or temporary workers who clean bathrooms and campgrounds, empty trash cans, maintain trails, welcome people at visitor centers, and do critical research work on the environment. These employees help monitor the health of public waters and forests that the agency oversees, clearing brush and trees that pose wildfire danger, and monitoring the health of Alaska's sockeye salmon. The Forest Service managed portions of the Appalachian Trail that were damaged by Hurricane Helene will likely be repaired by temporary workers. And right now, hikers are advised to stay off of 800 miles of the Appalachian Trail. So I looked up the Appalachian Trail. It's 2,197.4 miles long. So that 800 miles is over a third of the Appalachian Trail that has been damaged by Hurricane Helene. And we're going to need people out there to be fixing it. But next summer, most of these tasks will be performed by other staff or else not done at all. Due to a looming budget cut, the agency will not be hiring seasonal staff for the next fiscal year, leaving thousands of people out of work and putting essential conservation and biodiversity work at risk. The spending bill that recently passed gave the agency around $500 million less than it requested, meaning the Forest Service faces a large budget cut. Most of the environmental and science-based federal agencies also face large cuts. They say that combined with the recent cost of living increase for staff means that the agency is feeling strapped for cash. The next year will not likely be a very robust budget environment, said the budget director. So the United States government has to cut spending across the board dramatically. We spend way more than we take in. It is astronomical what the American citizens have let the government do for all these years. They say this decision does not apply to the more than 11,000 temporary firefighting positions the Forest Service hires every year. An agency spokesperson said that the Forest Service hired more than 2,500 non-fire temporary employees in fiscal year 2024. But right now, who's doing wildfire work? Inmates. Yeah, Wyoming just put them to work. California has had inmates fighting wildfires for a long time now. Right now, in Florida, DeSantis has inmates building sandbags for Hurricane Milton. It says just as Wyoming has inmates fighting the wildfire. So inmates have been getting put to work. And these people are very cheap labor. These guys here might be happy to be out and about and getting some fresh air, but fighting wildfires, that is a lot more intense. And the Forest Service pays good wages, a lot more than prison labor's getting to fight wildfires for us out there. So there's some wildfire crew right there. I know some guys that do it every summer. The Forest Service chief, Randy Moore, acknowledged that the agency will be forced to struggle without its seasonal workforce. And of course, all the employees aren't happy. A lot of them come back year after year. It was really banking on seasonal work next summer, said one temporary employee. And a lot of them use it as a way to become a full-time worker. So you do a couple of years of being a temporary employee, and then you hope that full-time job opens up. Here they say we cannot operate without our seasonal staff, but they're going to have to be next year. They say, I just can't fathom all the skill and know-how the Forest Service is about to lose. But that is the name of the game. Everybody is cutting back right now. The government should have never been having the budgets that they've given these people for years and years and years. Next summer, if you pay to go to any Forest Service operation, camping, even a lot of times you pay to go into the parking lot to go to some places. Those fees are probably going to increase because they're going to have to get money from somewhere. But one worker said there are some tasks that can't be set aside easily because things like emptying the trash have to get done. That same person estimates that 2 permanent employees will be left to do the work of 5 people once the seasonal positions are cut. So she imagined the possible consequences: locked gates and closed recreation access, and trails or camping sites left inaccessible by the lack of seasonal workforce. She called it a disservice to the public as well as to the employees who have to deal with the fallout. Everybody's having budget cuts right now. When you go to a Forest Service operation next year, it may very well be costing you more money to do so. So stay tuned, people.